Welcome in, everyone. South Plains College Texan Club. Steve Green sitting here with us, head coach of the South Plains College Texans, who is now on what, the 40-day practice plan, Coach? You're going to have to talk to some bowl coaches or something, figure out what you do with a club for 30 or 40 days and wait to see what happens next, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little different, you know, and I think the thing is still kind of sketchy as to what's actually going to happen. But as of now, they have a temporary starting date of April 20th, you know. But there's so many other things that could affect that, you know, both having it, not having it, what transpires between now and then. You know, are we going to be in school? Are we not going to be in school? Are other schools going to be, you know, what are they going to be doing, you know, and what have you? So, I mean, we're kind of on hold. We're taking a 2-week break right now. You know, we sent our guys home, you know, for spring break, and then we have an extended week that the school is, you know, we're not coming back till the 24th or 5th, or I don't know what date it is, you know, to come back to school. So, you know, we told our guys start, you know, trying to make arrangements to get back in here on that weekend. We probably try to practice, you know, 3 weeks ahead, which I don't know. We start the season doing the very same thing, so it's really not different, but it is different. So
Fluidity of the situation, you know, they used the word fluidity in the press conference, which is the press release, so that was fun. But with that being said, I guess that's kind of where you're at right now. Is you can make some plans. Plans may get altered. They may stay. They may not. I think from a coaching standpoint, a player standpoint, it's certainly not ideal, but it is what it is.
well, there's so many moving parts here. You know, this is when, and I don't know if anybody's. I don't know if this should even be a consideration, but there's so many people at this particular point that are making plans for their next year, you know, that, I mean, you have coaches that are, you know, being sought after to go to other jobs. And when do they go? Well, this is the time, you know. So you have players looking to transfer to other schools, or be recruited by other schools and things like that. So this is a whole new ball game, you know. So.
Let's rewind the tape. Let's talk about the season as we get to what would have been national championship week. This was a team that strung some big wins together, I felt like, down the backstretch. Now, the Clarendon game doesn't go your way in the final game of the Region 5, but it felt like a game that at any given time could go either way. It felt like, to me, you were there with the Bulldogs the whole time. And quite honestly, it took some wins just to get to that spot where you were at least in consideration for that title game and get that at-large bid.
Well, it was a strange year. But if you look back on it, you know, the last 3 seasons, we have been in our league 12-4. And I think most junior colleges would take the success that we had the previous 2. We won it. We won the whole thing one year, and then the next year, you know, we got beaten in the Final Four of the national tournament. And here we are again this year with a, you know, 12-4 conference record. We had a couple of hiccups early in the season that we usually don't have, and which it kind of tainted our season, I think, a little bit. Put us in an at-large category, you know, from Christmas on, you know. So, but you know, guys started playing well. You know, we in spots we'd had a deal where we actually moved back into a tie for first, and then we kind of stumbled, you know, a couple of games, and then we bounced back again. So. Hey, it was interesting to say the least. I think we were playing as good as we played all season long in February, which is without question the toughest month in basketball. So, you know, I'm really proud of what they have accomplished to this point. I hope the door's not shut. I hope there's the tournament will be played, but you know, rallying them back, you know, is at that point is going to be a challenge.
I think it may sound like coach speak, but get better as the year goes. And I think this is a team that you can see the markable improvement, not only for the team, but I thought player to player. I thought some guys that didn't show up a lot in the scorecard or on the tape early in the season start showing up and having big games toward the end of the year. And big games are meant for big players, and big players, need to get better as the year
Yeah.
goes along.
Yeah, well, if you're going to be playing in March, that's the trait of any team, I think, and we've been pretty consistent at doing that here. So, yeah, we had guys that got off to a slow start. That some guys were playing well, in the fall and not so well in the spring, and what have you. But basketball's it's a long season, man. I mean, you stop and think about it, and we just go during the school term, But I mean, can you imagine playing 100 games or can you imagine, in major college now, it's almost a year-round sport, as far as the conditioning and working out and training and whatever. It's a long season. And so 10 years from now, I'll look back on it and say, my goodness, I mean, we went undefeated one year, I mean, it's almost unheard of, to run the table anymore. It's so difficult to continue to get better, and while other people are chasing you, and everybody goes through it. So it's going to be like this. It's going to be up and down, and you're going to have some plateaus and what have you. So, but we finished strong, I think, and had the tournament gone off and we'd be on our way up there tomorrow, I think we'd have been going in, with feeling good about ourselves.
Let's talk about, obviously we don't have a crystal ball involved in this thing at all, and what happens is what happens, but you mentioned coaches, possibility of guys moving jobs this time of year, because once you get through that tournament, or if you're not in that tournament, that's when that shift happens. What's this do to the recruiting season as far as going out and bringing in the next crop of Texans? Does that throw this schedule out
I
as
don't
well?
know. We get a lot of our guys in July anyway, July, August, some of those kind of things. But I'm sure it will be a little different, But I mean, for me to sit here and tell you how it's going to play out, I have no idea, because I've never done this before. I've never played a postseason game in April. I've been to All-Star games in April, but those games don't mean anything. So I've never been to or had to get ready for a spring sport. I guess I ought to go talk to our track coach. Find out, what do you do to get ready for your nationals in late April?
I think the at-large bid is very deserved in this case. I mean, you win the Fiesta Bowl shootout, which is a good tournament. You beat some top 10 clubs. I thought beating Clarendon at home here was a big win for you at your home place. Go all the way into that regional tournament championship. And I think you're right. The plateaus of the season happen. The ups and the downs are out there for everybody. But I think at the end of the day, to get that at-large bid, I think it was recognition well deserved for a team that honestly had some pretty big moments in the season.
Oh, I think so too. We can make a case that maybe our league was not quite as strong as it's been in the past, but then again, I don't know that it wasn't. I mean, we. Ranger was supposedly the best team in Texas, and the fifth or sixth best team in our league. Beat them in the regional tournament. Plus a team earlier in the season, Howard, who didn't qualify. They were, they earned a victory over them too. You mentioned, us. We beat Salt Lake City, who has not lost since then. They ran through their league, and they're the fifth or sixth seed in the national tournament. Finished up in the top 5 or 6 in the country. So. When you say Clarendon, it's like Clarendon. How did they? Well, they had a quality team this year. I mean, they had really, really good players, and I don't think they got the national recognition that they deserved. And I think it had something to do with that they've never been there before. If it's us or Odessa, if it's Ranger now, if it's Tyler, having the record that Clarendon did, I promise you, we're ranked second in the country, all season long. And so when you look up there and you don't see that, then it gave teams like Tonkawa from Oklahoma an opportunity to move up above. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I've always thought that if you're sitting on top of our league, with the history that our league has in the national tournament, you should be automatically you're 1, 2, or 3 in the country as far as the poll goes. Now the poll is not supposed to mean anything, but it means a
But,
lot.
yeah,
You
let's
know,
be fair.
It means a lot, and so if we then beat Clarendon, or or we're number 2 in the country, and they beat us, then that really helps them. Well, us beating them, we're one of 2 teams that have top 5 wins, okay, over teams that finish the poll. I mean, in the top 10, and yet we're not even ranked, So, I think I don't like the poll. I wish they, in all honesty, I wish they'd throw the thing away and do away with it, and figure out another way to come up with strength of schedule. Hey, I'll tell you, if you wanted to go to a true strength of schedule, just ask the coaches. They know.
They know exactly.
They know who to play and who not to play.
Sure.
And they could give you a pretty accurate assessment.
Well, you've got, in theory, 5 weeks of
Well, we don't. Yeah.
between now and then. You've got a couple of weeks without players in town.
Well, we got a couple of weeks without school. I mean, we're shut down. We're going on spring break, and then the next week, the only people that are going to be here are administrators, staff, and the instructors. There's not going to be any students here. We're taking an additional week. Spring break has been extended, and and then that's to say that nothing else creeps in, and we have some cases of some stuff that we don't want to have cases of. So
do you have the videotapes drug out? I mean, there's no sports on television. You don't really play golf. What do you do for 2 weeks, Coach? You can only mow your yard so many times, I guess.
I don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, so you're good at that, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of in the past. This is kind of when we've kind of hit the road and started, going to some AAU events and things of that sort. But we won't be doing that either, right now. So I don't really know. I mean, it's kind of messed up my Final Four plans. It's done a lot, man. This is a life-changing event.
I know your thoughts on it, but you could always take up golf, Coach.
Yeah, I could. I
You're
kind of
not jumping right on that.
Well, I kind of have a theory about that. It's either too cold to play, or it's too hot to play, or it's too nice outside. Why would I want to go do that? So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do.
Well, enjoy 2 weeks vacation, I guess. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
You can drag out the old videotape or something. Get the 8mm projector.
I see a lot of people. See a lot of people. I think one of the best deals I saw was, we need to petition Netflix and let's go ahead and get that release of Ozark out there.
There you go, Coach.
Get that. Why do we have to wait till March 23rd for that? Notice I knew the date, by the way. So
Let's get that rolling.
yeah, get some binge watching some stuff. I'm watching Johnny Cash and Richard Nixon last night on Netflix. I mean, there's nothing to watch.
There
now,
you go.
know?
I mean,
so
well, the good news is, Coach, you get 2 weeks off. Enjoy it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll follow the situation as it goes. But
Yeah.
at this point, make plans. If the plans change, they change. If
Yeah,
they
they
don't,
change.
they don't, and away you go.
Yep.
Coach,
Absolutely.
we appreciate your time.
Okay,
Thanks for dropping
thank
by and
you.
visiting us. Coach Steve Green here from South Plains College, from the SPC Texan Club. For South Plains College Athletics, I'm Michael Weist.